Welcome to another edition of Symposium Sports. I am Knights with Ricky. On the other side of the screen is Neil 44. And tonight we're going to do our NFL Week 6 pick'em. So, the first matchup of the NFL Week 6 is going to be a Thursday night game. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Neil 44, who do you like in that matchup?
Well, of course, I would have to go with Tom Brady. Especially the Eagles. They came off a close game against the Carolina Panthers. I think Aaron Donald kind of gave the Eagles the game in that regard, but I think the defense for the Eagles still stands strong. But at the same time, it's Tom Brady. That front seven is still solid. Secondary is still suspect, but they'll get the job done. So I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, I also like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this matchup as well. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen to them this
Yeah,
Thursday
that's
night.
it.
Yeah, you are exactly right about that front seven. The front seven of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is solid. That the defensive backfield of theirs is still suspect. It's been suspect since last season and the year before. So as long
Right.
as the front sevens get causing havoc, they can make those guys look like superstars. So I'm definitely going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that matchup. The next matchup
Okay.
is it's going to be a game in London, and oh my God, it is a lowly game. It is the
Uh
Miami
oh.
Dolphins, who are 1-4, and the Jacksonville
Ooh.
Jaguars, who are zero
Oh,
and
damn.
five. Definitely, if they're trying to expand to the London, London about the NFL, this is not the best matchup to show for these two teams. But we got to pick them in this game. So, who do you like in this matchup?
Um, I do respect the Dolphins defense. I think they got a good secondary backfield. I'm not too familiar with they front seven, but I do respect they secondary backfield. Now that Tua Tagovailoa is out, and they've been having what's his name? Jacoby Brissett being the head of the helm. I don't think they're really getting the guys that they need based off that. So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville based off the fact that I think Urban Meyer, now that Rich Gannon, not Rich Gannon, but who was the coach for the Raiders?
John Gruden.
Yeah. Now that John Gruden's on the heat and he took all the fire off Urban Meyer, that Urban Meyer's about to fire up. And he's like, you know what? Now I could be in a relaxed state where I don't have to be the ratchet one in the talk of the town of winning the game. And I'm just being a jokester, but at the same time I will go with Trevor Lawrence being still being a quality quarterback of trying to do what he need to do, improving himself, and that defense is gonna step up. So I'm gonna go with Jaguars in London, and plus they have a history of playing in London, and they usually win in London tonight.
And I totally agree with you. Night. And the Jacksonville Jaguars will win that game. That will be their first win of the season. Every time I hear Jacoby Brissett's name, I think of Jim Tom Sula's love for brisket sandwiches. So I don't think it'll be enough. It won't be enough for them. So I definitely like the Jacksonville Jaguars getting their first win. As you're right, John Gruden got fired. He resigned, but I think he was forced to resign because he was going to get fired for all those
Right,
issues. We'll talk about that later. But yes, it took the heat
right,
off of Urban Meyer, and he could get back to focusing on being the coach that he was supposed to be. So I like the
correct.
Jags in London in that one. The next matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 2-3,
Ooh,
at the
woo,
Washington
mm,
football team, who are also 2-3.
ooh.
Both
That's
teams
a
are coming
trap
off
game
of
for the.
disappointing losses. They're both coming off disappointing losses. Who do you like in that matchup?
Um, hey, I'm gonna go with the Washington football team. based off the fact that their defense has been underachieving. Chase Young hasn't been really been in the spotlight of like showcasing his true talent and the rest of that front seven, and even in the secondary as well. Because I think that's a solid defense that just hasn't lived up to this true potential. Now, when it comes to the offensive side, was it Taylor Hickney? He's shown that he can throw the ball. He can be diverse and being the quarterback of what he needs to be to get the job done for that offense. But he got to get the ball downfield to McLaren. McLaren's a good ass wide receiver, and I think he reminds me of Anquan Bolden because he knows how to just maneuver and catch the ball. He's a solid wide receiver, and that run game has to get going. And on the back end, when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, that offensive line is trash. Defense is trash. Um, but the overall offensive pieces that Kansas City do have is still solid. Now, I won't put nothing past that based off the fact that you have Patrick Mahomes still slinging the ball down.
Oh no. Are you can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right, but that'll get fixed up. So keep going on your point about the Washington football team and the Kansas City Chiefs.
No. No, I was saying, I'm gonna give the game to Washington football team.
All right, this matchup is an interesting matchup because I definitely didn't see both of these teams being 2-3 at this point, considering the success they had last year, especially Kansas City. I actually like the the Washington
Oh,
football team as well. I like them in this one as well, and that's because the pass rushers they got over there and that offensive line they're gonna face with Kansas City. I don't think they're gonna handle those Washington football team pass rushers. So that's why I'm picking them. Although I think the league has figured out the Kansas City Chiefs, they know how to play them. They're still dangerous, but they know how to be beaten now. So that's the difference now with the Chiefs. So the
okay.
next matchup is the Los Angeles Rams, who are 4-1, and they're traveling to New York to play the New York Football Giants, who are 1-4. Who do you like in that matchup?
Oh, brother, that's an easy game to call. New York has way too many injuries. They starting quarterback has been knocked out. Starting running back has been knocked out. One of their starting receivers has been knocked out. So I don't think they have enough firepower to hang with who they playing again? I'm sorry, the Giants. They're
They're playing the Los Angeles Rams.
playing the Rams, and Aaron Donald's gonna have a field day with them. I'm sorry, but having a field day with them because that even though that defense is still solid with Aaron Donald and Daniel Ramsey, it won't be no competition.
Yeah, the New York Football Giants. I believe they're just decimated. Kadarius Tony. I guess he had an altercation. I still haven't seen that during the
Yeah, he
game
put
or
somebody in
something.
the head. Yeah,
See, and your players are out of whack like this. You shouldn't be doing that.
right,
So yes, I like the
and
LA
he
Rams big time.
right one thing. This was yeah, he did that to one of the Dallas players. So I'm just saying,
And And unfortunately, this is not the sport you could do that. So, so yeah,
Yeah, that's
big
correct.
time, big time mess in New York. So I like the Rams as well in that one. The next matchup is the Houston Texans, who are 1-4, at the
Mhm.
Indianapolis Colts, who are also 1-4, who should actually be 2-3 because they let that game go against Baltimore. Like, oh my God, you're up 25-9, and you let the game go. But that's neither here nor there. But who do you like in this matchup?
Of course, I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts. I think that they didn't had a few bad breaks, and Carson Wentz has really been impressing me of throwing the ball down the field and doing what he need to do as far as being a good quarterback. So I can't knock him. And the defense with Daenerys Leonard leading that front line of trying to get everybody together to get uh, get that defense straight. He's been doing it. Houston, I just think it's a whole clusterfuck. I didn't even know that um, who's the quarterback for Houston Texans?
The
Hill
quarterback
Haley?
currently right now is Davis Mills.
Yeah, David. Yeah, I thought it was Hill, but it's Mill. That tells you already right there. Out Houston ain't doing shit. So um, I'm going with Indianapolis.
Yes, I'm also going with Indianapolis and the quarterback Davis Mills. They say you never trust a man with two last names, and I'm not trusting the Texans at all for even starting that man named Davis Mills. So I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. You are right about Carson Wentz. He is playing like the number 2 overall pick he was picked as. He is playing well right now, and I like the Colts in that one, seeing them going to 2-4. The next
I give
matchup
you that.
is the Cincinnati Bengals at the lowly Detroit Lions. Who do you like
Woo,
in this
man,
matchup?
man. I'm going with Cincinnati. I just think that Joe Burrow, he's coming back. They said he had a throat injury, but it was minute, so he's going to be back at the helm. Jamar Chase is going to sit there and collect the passes that Joe Burrow throws to him. Because I really think that's going to be the next dynamic duel right there when it comes to quarterback to wide receiver combo. Joe Mixon's going to be running the ball heavily. Um, I'm not too familiar with the Cincinnati defense, but obviously they've been doing pretty good. Going now, high pole when it comes to Detroit Lions. I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. It's just there's too many holes with the Detroit Lions. Their quarterback is trying, but everything else is not aligning. And that's all I gotta say.
I personally believe the Detroit Lions, they've been getting slapped like that for a long time. I personally believe
Right.
the Detroit Lions really have they have a curse on them or something
Sure.
because
Yeah.
they've had some few good seasons, but even their best seasons ain't even good. So I mean, it's just pretty bad there in
Hey,
Detroit.
I just want to add lib. Detroit is the only team that actually have Megatron uh, making points when they actually win winless. So really think about that. That's the history of Detroit football. Remember, they went 0-16 with Megatron. That's how bad
with
Detroit is.
with Megatron. That is hard to even imagine that could even happen. But it
That's
happened.
terrible,
And
bro.
we seen it. We
It's
seen it happen.
terrible. We've seen it.
Unbelievable.
It's terrible.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I like the Cincinnati Bengals just because they're playing the Lions. That's all. I can't
It's
say
fine. That's
anymore.
it. Nothing more,
So
nothing
yeah.
less.
So yeah, Detroit. Uh Good luck. I don't know when. So the next matchup is the Green Bay Packers, who are riding high at 4-1 after that disappointing opening day game against the Saints. And they're going to Soldier Field to play the Chicago Bears in the oldest rivalry in NFL football history. Who do you like in that matchup?
in that matchup, I'm going with uh, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. You know why? Because Aaron Rodgers has been criticized based off his actions of not being the true person who he is of 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 getting to I'm sorry, being the quarterback that everybody ideally sees him, see how he is, but he's still doing it. And he's shown it. Everybody criticized him off that first game, but from there, what, they 4-0? And
Yeah,
from there, they just
after that.
been proving and showing themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, and Chicago is kind of a even medium because I think they're struggling and trying to incorporate Justin Fields, but they still have Andy Dalton in the back end. And to my belief that Justin Fields got hurt, so he might be out for like 2 weeks. So they have Andy
Hmm.
Dalton at the helm. They're done. That defense can do only what they can do because they got Khalil Mack. But other than that, they're not going to do that much.
Yes, I like the Green Bay Packers big time over the Chicago Bears. I believe the Chicago Bears defense, it was prime a few years ago when they first got Khalil Mack. It's not the same anymore. I think it's that ship done sailed for the defense, and they got the quarterback at the wrong time of Justin Fields and all.
Yeah,
That's a big mess there. Matt Nagy is holding on for dear life for his job, and
Matt
he's not
Nagy
going.
is bad.
He will not be the coach there after this season, guaranteed. I think me and
He's,
you can agree on that. So,
yeah, he's trash.
so
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
the Green Bay Packers big over the Bears in that one. The next
Yep.
matchup. This should be a pretty good game. This has a possible game of the week aspirations. The Los Angeles
Okay.
Chargers at 4-1
Ooh.
are traveling to the
Yep.
Baltimore Ravens, who are also four
Oh,
and one.
damn.
This should be a really good
Oh.
matchup. Two very good, talented teams. Although I think the
Mm.
Chargers are a little bit more talented. Who do you like in this matchup?
Hey, believe it or not, man, I'm actually gonna go with Lamar Jackson on with this one. I think that being on prime time, given the fact that the circumstances that he had to deal with this game, I mean this current situation that he had to play through, Lamar Jackson is showing me that he can actually throw the ball. He threw for like what 442 and 4 touchdowns.
Yes, he did.
That's pretty impressive. And I think he had at least like 60 yards rushing too. So he's showing that he can be a complete quarterback where he can run the ball and throw the ball. And that game that they played against Indianapolis, you know, it's a step up. But I don't want to keep laying on that. But on the back end, Justin Herbert, that dude's a beast, bro. He been balling out. He been balling since a rookie. So I actually have to give Justin Herbert his credit based on the fact that he's controlling a chaotic situation where, given that the Chargers are coming to be in Los Angeles and they're not even in San Diego, and that's the first year of actually doing it. So he's actually doing a justice of this convincing uh, Charger fans. Like Charger fans still got it somewhat. So I'm going with I'm going with Boston, but at the same time, uh Chargers are going to give we still
Are
alive.
you going with Baltimore? Is that right?
Yeah, we going with Baltimore. We going with Baltimore. I said Boston. I'm sorry. Um, Chargers going to give them hell, but at the same time, I'm going with Lamar Jackson just based on the fact that I think momentum is going to help him all the way.
That's a good selection. You are all right. You are correct. Lamar Jackson has been throwing the ball better. I definitely give him that. He's balancing it out now. He's not doing more running. He is balancing it out. But I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this is going to be a signature win for them. They had a good win against a Cleveland team. this past week. But I think they can
Mhm.
go to Baltimore and win that game. I think Justin Herbert is that talented at this point in his career that he's able to win these big games. He
You
went
think
against
so?
Baker Mayfield, the number one overall pick a few years back, and he beat him. Lamar Jackson is a former first round pick, 32nd overall, and I think he's going to beat him this Sunday too. And I think it's going to be by 2 touchdowns because Carson Wentz went in there and tore those defensive backs up tonight. I mean, against the the Indianapolis Colts against Baltimore Ravens, he threw for 400 plus as well. So I like the LA Chargers in that matchup. So
Okay,
so there we
that's a
go on
good.
that. So this next matchup, I would say definitely one very disappointing team. The Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Who do you like in that matchup?
That's a difficult one to pick, but given that I think that Minnesota has good receivers on the outside, that it still got Delvin Cook on the back end, that they can still succeed to get the job done. And when it comes to Carolina, I don't know, bro. Aaron Donald, I so I heard that he's been throwing picks left and right for the last 2 games. I think he threw 5 picks within the last 2 games, and he hasn't put them in the position to succeed. So I don't know if Carolina can actually get over the hump of defeating the Minnesota Vikings.
So do you believe Sam Darnold needs Christian McCaffrey more than we thought?
Yes, yes, he do, bro. I think that's lacked out based on the fact that he don't have a running game, and they never supply him with a proper running back to uh, uh, submit with Christian McCaffrey. So um, he's not having the adverse effect of what he should be doing for Carolina that Carolina expects of him.
Right. In this matchup, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers. And the reason why is because
What?
Kirk Cousins has made all this money and he is not producing. He has all those talented receivers and he is not producing. He's going to get Mike Zimmer fired. I think this is Mike Zimmer's last year as well as coach of the Minnesota Vikings. I think
What?
they're going to slide. I don't see nothing from this Minnesota Viking team like I did 2 years ago. I don't see it. I can't see them.
I mean,
They've done lost
it
3 games to
mhm.
the Arizona Cardinal game, albeit the kicker missed that field goal. That was a winnable game. You should have won that. And in the last game, I mean, you're at home. You shouldn't lose that matchup. And, you just shouldn't lose that matchup. Well, wait a minute. No, they did win. But they guess who they played? The Detroit Lions. You know how bad that is? I thought they lost the game, and they actually won it. They could just because
Right.
they were playing the Detroit Lions. I just don't see. I don't see this. I don't see it like that. I think Kirk Cousins is, and that dude knows how to get the money. He is the best quarterback
Yeah,
I've
that's
ever
what
seen
I'm supposed to do. He supposed
get that
he
money.
damn sure knew how to do it. Yeah, so he do. But I mean, I get your response to that, but yeah, it is Minnesota. So I'll let it ride. You know what I'm saying? Based on the fact that I know that I can never pick it back off Minnesota to give me a win. So
So yeah, I'm going Carolina in that matchup. So this matchup, it should be a good game as well. The Arizona Cardinals, who are riding high, 5-0, at the Cleveland Browns, who are 3-2. Who do you like in this
ooh, they
matchup?
going to Cleveland? They going to
Going to
Cleveland.
Cleveland. And this dog pound, it's getting back to being the dog pound there. So who do you like in this matchup?
So you saying Cleveland versus Arizona? Arizona and Cleveland. Um, I'm gonna pick Cleveland in this. I think Baker Mayfield has something to prove. Um, based off the fact that given that he misjudged that whole Los Angeles Charger game where he didn't have to throw that ball down the field, but he did what he had to do. But it is what it is. Um, I think it's going to be a close cut game. Um, Kyler Murray still has a chip on his shoulder, thinking that he can still compete to a certain level because I think he's been held to a certain standard because he's a first round pick, and he's actually been improving on that. So I can't not not Kyler Murray on that. So I think just just dealing with not dealing with but just understanding both quarterback scenarios. It's gonna be Baker Mayfield because he got a chip on his shoulder. He fucked it up last week when he actually could have threw the ball and got it downfield, but he didn't do it. Kyler Murray is riding off high being a 5-0 quarterback. Um, Baker Mayfield is gonna get it done. You know, he still has a good legit defense with Myles Garrett. I don't know where David and Conner's been at, but I hope he will show up. When it comes to Kyler Murray, you know the defense is still stout. Got J.G. Watt, got Kyler Chandler on the opposite end. So it should be a good matchup.
Definitely agree that this is definitely a candidate for game of the week. Good matchup. Got two good defenses in this game, but I think Baker Mayfield wants this win more than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can afford to have this game go. He can afford that because they're 5-0. But Baker Mayfield needs this if he wants to stay in Cleveland and be the man in Cleveland. So he needs this
What you
win.
think you want to win?
I think he needs to win because I feel Cleveland might say we don't need him and we could go somewhere else. You got to remember, Odell Beckham Jr. is like a fifth option right now. They're not getting him the
Yeah, he got
ball at all. You
getting,
know,
but I mean, having a quarterback will justify having a good quarterback will justify you of having a quarterback of getting you to a signature win. I don't know why I keep doing that, but a signature win would get you there. You know, and I think Baker Mayfield is capable of doing that because here's the thing, he got two good running backs. He got Nick Chubb and the other guy,
Kareem Hunt.
the other guy that came from yeah, Kareem Hunt. That running game has actually been holding Cleveland abroad too. You know what I'm saying? People ain't
That
talking
is
about
true.
that.
That is true. A lot of people don't give that running game credit. They don't talk about it
Yeah,
enough. It's just all
yeah,
about Baker Mayfield. But you're right about
correct.
that running game. So yes, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns as well. And just what you said, it's Baker. He needs this win. He just really needs this one. The next matchup, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver
Oh Lord.
Broncos. A great rivalry game. That's always a great rivalry game. But we're going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about, before we get into the picking that, we're going to talk about that situation that happened in Las
Mm-hmm.
Vegas. What do you think
Right.
about that with Coach John Gruden?
Um, Coach John is Coach John. I think he benefited from uh uh Coach Tony Dungy. I just think like he has it. He have always had it his way. Now I think when it comes to people like him, when something gets criticized or gets thought about or they're not feeling comfortable, they can't get out of their way of explaining why they do disagree with that. And I think that's the issue with John Gruden. It's not the fact that he's not. I don't. Me personally, I'm gonna put it like this. I don't think he's racist. I just think like he's speaking from a fact of. of speaking his piece about how he feels about it, and it probably comes off like this like racist and all that stuff. Like I looked at the shit that he said to Maurice Smith and all that shit. All he said was like, this motherfucker speaks so. He said this motherfucker speaks so much that his lips are fat like a Michelin tire. That's really not racist, bro. He's just saying something. Why? Because he's black. He got big lips. Like, oh, you really gonna like hold that against him? Like, no, it's the truth, bro. Like, he's just speaking in me with common sense. He's just saying like you're talking too much because your lips are too big to not keep information together. That's how I took it. But whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's just how you want to take it. But at the end of the day, like, no, what if he said other stuff that I wasn't conformed to or understood, then it is what it is. But I know from what I've heard from what he said about Maurice Smith, about how he said to him, that shit was not racist. He was clowning because I would have clowned his ass too. Nigga got big lips. Fuck.
I personally believe he shouldn't have said it at all, but it's whatever.
No, yeah.
But I think what really was the nail in the coffin is, we talking about the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's, the Q's.
Yeah.
He said a
I was
comment
right.
about Michael Sam. Remember, he was the player in 2014 who came out
Oh,
as
you said
gay,
shit about Michael.
and he called him a queer. He said, I'm paraphrasing here. It's not the actual quote, but when I read it, it said that the NFL and Roger Goodell forced Jeff Fisher and the Rams to draft that queer. That's what he said in the email.
Oh, you said that?
He said that. And
Oh, damn.
like I said, it's not the
You know
exact
what?
words. I'm paraphrasing some of it, but that's pretty much what he said.
I give myself a slap in the face with that because that. I get it, but at the same time, but I try to be biased, but at the same time, I get it where somebody could be irrational how they explain something, but what you just told me right there, then I don't stand by that at all. But I just want to make sure, like, I'm just letting you know, like, I don't stand by that. Like, far as like being irrational doesn't allow you to be uh, racial. I don't think he's really, being racial. But
And you got to remember, this is a black gay he was talking about. So it was a double whammy. He was already in hot water. And
yeah,
now that
that's
shit is
true.
steaming. Because now it's a black
Yeah,
gay.
Stephen
So it's steaming hot
Hot.
now. So, you know, they have a saying, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And that's what he should have
That's
did. He
true.
should have never typed that shit in an email because that shit stays forever. Whatever you type or whatever you got digitalized, it stays forever. It's going to get found. And
Bro,
he lost his job because of that. That's him. So terrible situation. But we're gonna get back to the picks. So who do you like in that Las Vegas Raiders game against the Denver Broncos in the Mile High City?
I'm going with the Broncos. I think they got their head together. The Las Vegas Raiders, they don't. I think they got a lot of shit going on with them that they got a lot of stuff in their mind. They're not going to get it together. So I think Denver's going to take advantage of that.
Denver is coming off of two very disappointing losses.
Hmm.
That 3-0 start has disappeared. The Raiders 3-0 start has also disappeared, and I think because of the current situation with the Raiders, that they're just going to be in a little disarray. They're not going to even have their original coach that came into the season with. So I like the Broncos in this matchup as well. I'm taking them in this game. The next matchup is the Dallas Cowboys at the New England
Ooh,
Patriots. Who do you like in that match?
damn. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with New England. I think Mac Jones is
Oh,
really gonna show it. I think Mac Jones is really gonna show his promise on why Bill Belichick showed faith in him, and I think that defense is gonna rise up to actually stop Dallas based off the fact that it's a Bill Belichick coach team. Now on the back end, when it comes to Dallas, um, Dak Prescott has really been showing himself as being a good legit quarterback. Um, uh, Diggs on the back end as being the corner, shut down. I cannot give him no better props of being other than a shutdown. Parsons, the rookie as well, but I'm rolling with New England Patriots because I think this is going to be Mac Jones coming out party.
I like Mac Jones as well. I think he's the second coming to Tom
Yeah,
Brady. He reminds me of Tom Brady.
you think?
He throws, yeah, the build and everything. He reminds me of Tom Brady. Like, he just and he throws the ball where it needs to go. And you got to remember, they're just getting this guy started. So, and people don't forget
Right,
Tom Brady when he did get the chance to play. He wasn't a rookie. He was there already for like
right,
a year or so,
right,
maybe even 2 years. He was sitting there for 2 years, so he was seasoned already. It wasn't like he jumped in like Mac Jones is. So I just see him getting better. And I'm going to go with the
right.
Patriots as well because I think Dallas, they're on a roll, but I think they're not as good as Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay beat them, and Tampa Bay almost lost to New England. So I see New England actually learning from those mistakes from that Tampa Bay game and beating these Dallas Cowboys and giving them their second loss of the season as well. Even though Dak Prescott, he is
Okay,
having an MVP like season. I got to give him that. He has played well. He's exceeded my expectations. But I like the New England Patriots in this as well. The Sunday night
okay.
football game,
Okay.
the Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you like in that matchup?
Oh, that's Pittsburgh all the way. Pittsburgh's facing a team with no Russell Wilson. Defense is shoddy. I think Ben Roethlisberger is actually, figuring out that now that he's older, that he can actually do certain things with the ball that he think he can do. Juju Smith is out, so you still got Chase Claymore, Claypool. I'm sorry, Claypool to get down the field, catch the ball. So I'm going with Pittsburgh. Seattle. Geno, when I heard Geno Smith, I'm like, nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Yes, I'm going with Pittsburgh as well. And before I go with saying why, well, I'm just going to go with Pittsburgh, but we're going to talk about is Seattle right now. Is Pete Carroll's job in jeopardy? Or
No,
because this is
no, it's not.
this is kind of being like his end of his tenure at USC if you think about it. The defense don't look the same. And what happened in USC, the defenses didn't look the same no more.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback play was inconsistent. It's inconsistent now because of injury. And he's got Geno Smith starting for the team. Do you think it's at that point with the Seahawks that this could be the end of an era there?
No, I don't think so. I think because it's based off that it's Pete Carroll, bro. Pete Carroll, you gotta realize that Pete Carroll he has done what crazy personalities within that organization where I think he's capable of riding the ship. Like he had Marshawn Lynch, he had goddamn what's his name, cornerback
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman. He done had Chancellor. I mean, he done had players where they probably
Michael Bennett.
tested him. Yeah, Michael Bennett is the worst. So that's the worst. He didn't had players that tested him as a coach where I know he can navigate, where he can adjust, where he can, uh maneuver where it works best for him in succeeding. You know what I'm saying? So I can't count Pete Carroll out. Pete Carroll is legitly a thug. Like he is. He's a thug. He's a thug. He's a thug ass coach. Like he's a thug coach based on the fact that the personalities that he done dealt with, they succeeded for him. And guess the point? They won against the Broncos in 2000. What was it? 2013.
Yeah, that
When they beat
2013
Peyton.
season.
Yeah, 2013 season. Pete Carroll had all those personalities. Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman, Bennett,
Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin was on the team with goddamn Aaron Hernandez. Come on now. Like,
Golden Tate.
get that Golden Tate. He cheated. Like, come on, man. Give that man his credit. He didn't deal with a lot of personalities.
I give Pete all of his credit. I've been a fan of his since he had those USC Trojans, playing well in the 2000s. He brought that program back to respectability. They haven't even
Correct.
been back to that level since he left. And I'm just getting this feeling like it's the end of his time there. I truly believe he might not be coaching there probably at the end of the 2022 season. I'm seeing this already.
So, brother, you know why? Because he old. He getting old. Like that nigga look old. He old as fuck. Like come on, man. Like how long? Pete Carroll been coaching since what?
Since
Like
the 70s.
He was coaching in the 70s. Come on, bro. Was he offensive coordinator with Bill Parcells in New England when Drew Bledsoe was quarterbacking against Brett Favre in the Super Bowl in 1996?
I believe he was. Actually.
You know why I remember that shit? That was on my fucking birthday. That's why I can tell you that. So,
see,
the thing I'm only saying that no, I like I like that dude, but at the same time, he old. He old as fuck. So it's like give him his flowers right here because he actually accomplished the shit of giving Seattle a Super Bowl. But other than that, I mean he's not doing nothing else other than what he just accomplished. That's all.
All right. So we got Pittsburgh in that matchup, and we're gonna leave it at that about the situation with the Seattle Seahawks. So interesting take there.
Right.
Definitely interesting take. And the last matchup of the week, NFL Week 6. It's the Monday night game. It's the Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans. Who do you like in that matchup?
Oh yeah, I'm going with Josh Allen. That hey, homeboy is the truth. If Josh Allen can throw that rock, he can run that rock. That defense with Micah Hyde in the backfield correcting them. I'm going with Buffalo. Buffalo is showing me that they are the new Kansas City Chiefs. They got a
Well,
quarterback that can throw the ball. They got a wide receiver that can catch the ball. I don't know about the running back, but they can compensate for that. And I don't see anybody beating Buffalo right now. You know, and
that's
kudos
an
to the team that they play, but it's not
interesting
gonna
pick
happen.
there. I mean, interesting pick, saying how you feel the Buffalo Bills are the new Kansas City Chiefs. That's an interesting take there. It's the first I've ever heard of that. But after you saying it and me analyzing it now in my head, I can see that. I can actually see that. They do got weapons over there. Tight end, receiver. They got two decent running backs, like we said, but I definitely understand what you're talking about. And I also like the Buffalo Bills in this matchup too. I think the Tennessee Titans, they might be a little overrated. I think this is what I think about the Tennessee Titans.
Jared Henry keeps them relevant. That's it.
That's the truth.
That's it.
And I think the Tennessee Titans, they don't have the same offensive coordinator because remember their offensive coordinator was Arthur Smith, who is now the head coach in Atlanta now. I think that takes some time to get used to a new play caller, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take at least half of a season to get used to that play caller. So
Right.
that's why I'm like Tennessee is in a little rut with that, and their wins have come against Seattle, Jacksonville, and those are the only two teams they beaten, I believe. Let me see, because
Bro.
I think, yeah,
And and me. I was about to say, me. I'm a Atlanta Falcon fan through and through. They Tennessee has Julio Jones, and Julio ain't did shit other than one game. That's it. Julio ain't did nothing.
that's right, and it's making it look like the acquisition was Atlanta knew
Yeah,
something more than Tennessee
right.
knew, so that's why they was like,
Thank
well,
you.
we'll let him go, you know, and
Right.
it's looking right now that Atlanta has won that trade right now, but the season we still got 12 games left, so it's gonna be interesting stretch. Um, and then just a real quick take after that. Who is your surprise of the NFL season so far? Who is the biggest surprise? Player, a team, coach? Who is the biggest surprise of the season?
Mm, good question. I would say my biggest surprise is that I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I thought Buffalo was kind of a fluke last year because they went to the NFC Championship. Yeah, they went to the championship game and competed with Kansas City Chiefs, but they're actually showing that they're very consistent. And Josh Allen is showing his true metal as being a legit quarterback where he can run the ball, pass the ball, and he's getting it done by all means necessary. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Buffalo is really showing me that they're being consistent as a franchise.
Definitely, definitely a big surprise. My biggest surprise is the Carolina Panthers. They're at 3-2. I
Really?
wasn't expecting them to be 3-2. I was more like 1-4, something like that. Maybe even 0-5. It didn't look too promising there because you had got Sam Darnold who just left the Jets, and that team is 3-2 right now. They could easily, if they won this game, they're 4-2, and they control their destiny in the NFC South because you got the New Orleans Saints. You don't know which Jameis is going to show up. You got the Atlanta Falcons, streaky team. You know, uh, then you got the who's the other team in the division? The Tampa Bay. Oh, then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's just an interesting, they're 3-2 at the moment. It's just interesting that Matt Rule has coached those guys to that record, and it was a surprise for me. That's my biggest surprise. of this NFL season so far. So, but yes, so everyone, those are our NFL Week 6 picks. Definitely make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll definitely be doing this more and more. Uh, college football, we're gonna have to get on the college football as well because the Georgia
Oh
Bulldogs, right
yeah.
here near 404, he loves them Georgia Bulldogs.
All day.
and and that Georgia Bulldog defense is playing lights out football right now. It's
Right
one of the best defense
now.
I
Hey,
have seen in a
I want to
while.
see
I haven't
everybody
seen a
else.
defense like that in
I
a
want to see
while.
I want to eat this because that bulldog offense, I want to eat it. But no, shout out to my dog, Ricky Reeves, like giving the platform of let of we can experience sports like this. So yeah, if he can do sport, college football, I'm all there. Let's do it. You know what I'm
Yeah, so we'll have to do those as well. Definitely have to do those as well. And yeah, so just make sure we're gonna keep bringing this content to you. Make sure you just like, share, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think of the picks, whatever you else you want to see. And that's all I got. What else you got?
Nothing much, but I appreciate you inviting me on here to have my thoughts out there with my picks. Go
That'll work.
dog.
That'll work. That'll work. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.